Hello team, Dan Scott here. So this is a short video on getting started with online course design for the APConnect Year 3. So in this short video then, I'm just going to introduce a brief rationale, kind of like why we're doing this sort of thing. I'll introduce a module map, get you thinking about your content, module content, and the digital activities that you might potentially want to do. And then I'll go on to the next steps, what happens after this, basically. Okay then, so what are we proposing? So as I was suggesting to Joss and Lou, I think we need to be planning for fully online initially, because we don't know what's going to happen come when the program is going to be delivered. So we need to make that judgment assessment around that time if we go on site and deliver this. But obviously, yeah, it's blended, so we would doing digital elements anyway. But if the situation is not in a good position, then we will be in a better position to move things online because we've already thought about digital at the outset and throughout the whole program. Is what I'm trying to say there. So yeah, if we think fully online initially, and then it would help us long term should we need to move things online. Okay, so why are we doing this? So yeah, we've offered blended learning. That's clear throughout the literature. That's what the program is. But yeah, it could potentially move online. But we know that there's the general benefits of digital and what that brings. And yeah, we're somewhat driven by the uncertainty of the situation. So yeah, those kind of comes down to verse 3 really. So how will we do it? So yeah, online learning is more than like assimilative learning where it's a mixture of like reading, watching and listening. It's more than that. So as part of this process we'll be looking at how we can increase active learning in there, engagement and support online, and just generally using a variety of types of digital learning and activities and content. So I've produced this guide which I'll give you a little demo of to help us think about this content and what are the activities we want to do on these modules. So that's just a little snapshot of this guide that I've produced. So I'm just going to bob my screen down in a moment and just give you a little walkthrough of it. So to save myself, repeat myself, I'm not going to read it through like word for word. Hopefully it's pretty much like self-explanatory. I've given a little introduction there, about the process. So yeah, just a little bit about this learning design methodology. So there's a lot out there, and they're quite complex and lengthy in general. So this is a very cut straight to the point on the collaborative element. So there's a lot of things we're not included right now that you need to think about, but like I said, straight to the collaborative element where it's brainstorming and helping you to think about your content and what you're trying to achieve basically. So as I'm saying there, it's optional, this particular bit, brainstorming. You might have already got your ideas, you might have already got, mapped out on bits of paper and creative post-it notes everywhere and sketches and things, which is great if you have, because you're a step ahead. But if you've not, I would recommend it. And I'll just give some brief instructions there how to get started with that. It doesn't have to be, paper-based, it could be, something like Padlet, which might be, as we're using throughout this project in general. It could be PowerPoint or something else you're comfortable with. But yeah, think about just mapping it out. What is it you're trying to do with it? What are the teaching sort of topics? Breaking those down. What are the potential activities to support those like topics? And also, kind of missed out initially the learning outcomes and objectives. But yeah, think about those beforehand, which I've alluded to there at the beginning. That is the first point there. Define your learning outcomes and objectives. But yeah, then with a little example here, just thinking about how you can potentially just break it down. So yeah, into topics, and then what are the activities, and where you potentially might need to give feedback and signpost people throughout this process, throughout their learning journey process, should we say. And as I've bolded there, I've included a learning types section. So you might be familiar with this. It's Diana Laurelard's 6 learning types. So very briefly, it just helps us to really think about what activities or learning activities precisely we want to do in these modules. as well as it's like an updated learning styles, if you like, as well. Could use it in that element. So I'm not going to go through this in detail, but yeah, I've got the learning types there, 6 types of them. And the conventional method, how they could potentially be used in the classroom, non-digital basically, and then digital technology options at the side. So it just helps you to think about, yeah. So I'll base on acquisition, for example. Again, that's like assimilative sort of stuff. So just reading, watching, listening, and what potential options there is for that. You've got the conventional method and then potential digital approaches that you can take with that learning type. Yeah, I'll leave it there on that one. It's a good read. It's not long. It's just one little short page. It helps you to put things in perspective. Yeah, at the bottom I can just invite you just to think about your learning outcomes and learning objectives, and think about how you can enable a mix of those. And look into your own teaching / training practices and using that as a bit of an example as a starting point. So the main key thing is this module map towards the bottom. So the main purpose of this is for me to get a feel for this whole activity in this document, is to help me to get a feel for the headline content that you're proposing and the key activity moments, so I can potentially just advise further what other potential possibilities there is and other activity ideas. So if you've already done that brainstorming activity beforehand, the one I've suggested, or you've done it recently, then it's just kind of transferring what you've got, your information, into this table. So the bits in red, these are prompts that I've put in. I'll not read them out, but to get you to think about what's happening in each sort of box here and what you can potentially be putting in there. So it looks detailed, but these are just prompts to get you started. That's what it's all about. This it's just helping to get started with your thinking, what you want to really achieve with your blended module. So we've got the activity types at the top, which have been outlined by Touch Consulting for this project. I've personally added the about the week / introduction, because it's always good to for offering this aspects online. What is this particular week or topic about before we get into offering what is the pre-reading, the quiz, and so on. But those are the activity types that's been agreed. And I've suggested we put a little summary at the end of each week, just a bit of a roundup, wrap up sort of thing. Then the feedback column is just the opportunity for yourself to put in any pointers where you need to signpost or just give formative feedback, or potentially summative feedback if you're doing assessments on this. Where do they come in line or appear throughout this timeline? So I've not done the whole weeks, but I believe that we're doing this over 4 weeks. So just put these prompts in one particular week with the other sections. So I've just done a little example week 1. It's very brief. It's a bit like dummy sort of content, but it just gives you an outline what you can try to work to on your template. So we've got the engagement type at the top. So it's basically just the same as above. I've just had a little bit of dummy content there, so you can just guide it a little bit, guide your information to the right areas. So we'll do that for each week. Okay. So I'm just ending with the develop part. So I cast back up to the top again, where I introduced that little framework. So that's where we would start, the developing bit, after I've seen your module map and I've given some, comments on it and advised, what digital technology can do and how we can, present your content, because that's what it's about as well. Different ways we can present your content online. Okay, so back to the PowerPoint then. So that's a document, and I will put that on, or it is available on the digital Padlet. It's on the APConnect Year 3 webpage. You might have got bookmarked. So it's in there along with this video. Okay. So that's the document. So yeah, if there's anything on there that that's not clear or you think it needs changing, do let me know. I will, change or elaborate more if if more information is needed. So yeah, do let me know and I'll change it as soon as possible. Okay, so like the next steps then. So it's for you to look at that document, just get familiar with it, what I'm saying on there, and just guide you through what is expected. Complete that template at the bottom. Well, you have a table. That is a template. Populate that with your detail. Again, it's only like headline sort of stuff, so don't go too in depth about that at the moment. Yeah, and what I'm saying there is, yeah, carry on with that deeper content planning. So you might be using other like Word documents and other planning tools to support that. So yeah, keep on doing the granular sort of detail stuff, because if we do end up creating some sort of e-learning content as part of this, which we're going to WordPress site, then as part of that process, we have to create a storyboard, and obviously that's when I'll be working with yourself on looking at that content that you produce. So yeah, carry on developing that content in the meantime as well, the deeper aspects. Right, so yeah, I'll send out a doodle poll for some dates in August for you to book in a one-to-one with me to look at to show me or discuss your module map that you've completed. And it's an opportunity as well to discuss any digital skills that you want to not only develop, but for me to support you with as well throughout this process. Yeah, part 2 of that. So yeah, before we meet, when we've scheduled that in, if you could send that a couple of days beforehand, because I realise that you might not have had a lot of time to put it all together, but at least a couple of days before we have a chat, and it gives me some time to just look in detail and make some reflective notes as well on how I can support what you've proposed, basically. Yeah, so I'll put more guidance, supportive pieces, should we say, on the digital Padlet as well, depending on what's needed. So a lot of that might come from the conversations we have in your one-to-ones, but I might put some articles on there as well. But I'm conscious I don't want to increase the cognitive overload, shall we say, on of all things digital and all these good examples. It's probably better for me just to give that where and when it's needed, and it's better for you then. But yeah, we'll put some on Padlet. Yeah, so some final pointers. Yeah, don't hesitate to ask for me support, or if anything's not clear. Yeah, very approachable. So please just message me through Slack if anything's needed. Yeah, as I just said a few moments ago, if there's any changes required to that module map, let me know and I'll make the changes. So yeah, good luck with making your module map, and yeah, get in touch when you need any help. Thank you.